right. So don't really know how to start doing this, but we just wanted to kind of go through a little video about some of the stuff I picked up this past month. We've kind of been growing the bourbon collection a little bit. So maybe make this into kind of a sort of a serious thing. This is kind of a steep haul. I had a few extras too, a couple doubles up on some of these. We're just gonna go through them kind of one by one, sort of in the order of how excited I was to get them / try them. We're just gonna jump right into it. So the first pick I've got for us, and most of these I think, I've never had any of these really. I think both of us were pretty new to all of these bottles that we're gonna have today. So my first one here is a 1792 small batch, just their regular release.
Bro, I don't think I'm mentally prepared for all the bourbon we're about to drink.
It's gonna be a lot. Just wait, we're gonna get some real heavy proofers. Small batch 1792, straight bourbon whiskey, and this guy is pretty weak, just 93.7 proof. And we're gonna start with a pretty conservative little pours there.
Proof though.
For sure. We'll start with just some real conservative little guys. I've never had anything 1792. I went to the store, got this one actually on my birthday. That's why I have so many extra bottles this month. Went to get a Blanton's drop and it was gone. Ended up talking to the store owner for a good half hour, almost maybe 45 minutes. And decided to get some nice regular release stuff that I didn't have anything of. So I've got this and the next one that I got on the same trip. I mean, it's decently colored. It's pretty light stuff though. I don't really know the whole story. I don't think these guys are very old. Doesn't really say much on the back here about how long they've been in the barrel for. Distilled and bottled, of course, by Barton, 1792 in Bardstown. But I sure don't see any kind of age statement on this guy. And again, this is just the regular release, nothing crazy in this one. You know, not super thick, pretty thin looking liquid, and not a whole lot of smell on this guy. I mean, it's pretty generic bourbon smell.
I'm a little stopped up, but mostly just ethanol for me. Maybe some fruity notes.
Really thin on the palate, very watery. Not a lot of good tasting notes in that, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't expect much from it though. It's just their regular small batch, you know.
The viscosity is terrible.
It's very thin. It's very thin, it's very light. Really like just sugary, kind of a candy note, not really anything super descript. I'm not really getting a lot of fruit. I'm not really getting any kind of like specific caramel. Just kind of like a sweet piece of bark.
Yeah.
Not a bad bottle by any means. For $25, I think is what I paid for this one.
Be good for mixing stuff though.
Oh yeah, that would cut through a little bit on a mix for sure. We're just gonna jump right to the next one though. Controversial number that we've both heard a lot about. And again, just the regular small batch release, but this is just the Jefferson's. Not the Ocean, not the special or anything, just the generic Jefferson's bourbon. Nothing too crazy on this guy either, but the next few we'll start getting into a little bit more of stuff, and you guys are gonna watch me struggle open bottles on camera. The first one went too easy. I knew it was a scam. I should have got a knife. This one was in the same trip though. Got it from one of the local stores here close to the house. Same deal. I'd popped in thinking I was gonna grab a Blanton's on my birthday. And the story I was told is somebody came in and bought the whole case about an hour and a half before I showed up. So
They got some money.
Go figure.
I like the color on this though. Also, I've always liked the bottles. It's just a nice, clean, crisp bottle. It's classic. I don't really know much about the juice inside, but it looks good. It is really low proof, 82.3.
Yeah, this one is pretty low. Truthfully, I kind of thought about starting with this one and saying we wanted to do something more in the order of how excited I was to try them, but this is one that he kind of had to sell me on a little bit more because I've heard so many mixed reviews, especially on the Ocean. And he did a really good job explaining it to us, but still, I'm like, man, this was just a curiosity buy. I told the guy, I was like, man, I came to buy something, so I'm gonna leave it with something.
Heck yeah.
This one's got a little bit more color though. Again, I don't think there's any kind of age statement on here. Bottled for Jefferson's Bourbon Company. Let's see. I don't want to say on camera where I've heard, but I'm pretty sure I've heard this is sourced stuff. I just don't know who distills it. Doesn't say here on the bottle. But again, yeah, 82.3, just a little straight bourbon whiskey again. Nothing crazy or special on this guy either. I'm gonna lose track of which Glens I've used. Another little easy pour. You get a little bit more in there than that. So some of these I've been sitting on for pretty much the whole month, because this would have been what I got through the month of August, depending on when we actually get this video put together and brought out. Same kind of deal again. This is about the same color. It's a hair darker. Sitting here looking at it, and that could just be partially from sitting more in the shadow of what's behind us. But it's been like barely even leaving legs on the Glens here. It's not doing a whole lot for me as far as the viscosity stance goes. And it's got less on the nose, I think. I just smell dust. I don't smell anything on this.
It's definitely less on the nose, but I like it. I like the smell of it better than I did the other one.
It's a little bit more oily in the palate. It's got a little bit more taste going, I think. A little bit more of almost a cherry, fruity kind of thing, I think. A little bit of more of a brown sugar as opposed to just sweet dirt like the first one was.
Yeah.
A little more character, but still no body to it, no real profile, just a little bit on the front and then through the back. These are both probably going to be old-fashioned fodder. And
there's a tasting note in there. I just can't tell what that is, but it might be the cherry. It almost reminds me of medicine a little bit. And it's not bad.
I'm definitely picking up a little bit. I think I'm picking up some cherry, some kind of red fruit berry kind of a note. Let's get a little bit of hit right here. And we'll move into some stuff I was a little bit more excited to find through the month. We'll start with these guys. I actually got a 3-pack from Costco of the 375 baby single barrel jacks. So the single barrel select, the rye, and the single barrel barrel proof, leaving the little barrel proof out because I've got a better Jack single barrel proof that we'll come to here in a few minutes.
I'm excited for this one.
So I did try I have cracked the small batch, or the barrel select already. It was good. It's got a lot of those classic Jack notes. Definitely got a little bit of like that banana kind of note. It definitely wasn't my favorite, but then again, in the college days, Jack was never particularly my drink of choice either. It was more of Wild Turkey and Old Forester, the cheap screw top stuff.
Not a Jack and Coke guy?
And that's kind of how the rest of the bars evolved to now as well, because there's just a heck of a lot of turkey product in there that I think can do no wrong. So we'll do a little bit of pour of this little single barrel select guy though. So this one's not a bad whiskey by any means, just your classic good Jack Daniels kind of stuff. And of course we're climbing in proof here a little bit. This guy is, what's 47? That's going to be 94. 94 ABV. So we're getting a little bit higher up there. Nothing crazy still.
Oh, we got some decent little leg there.
Of course, your Jack's going to have a way better color. This is more of that molasses caramel kind of a color you'd want what you're sipping on to be. Of course, a heck of a lot more oil leaving in the glass here too.
Not gonna lie, it smells like it's gonna hit harder than 94.
It definitely, this one, like I said, I've cracked this one. It drinks a little bit hotter, I think, than 94 really did. And we're gonna do some heresy here, and we're gonna put the rye in it behind it, just because it's to double down on the little single guys here. But not a bad pour at all. Definitely a heck of a lot better. Honestly, I think it's a little better now than the first time I opened it.
I definitely got like a smoky oak right at.
There is
right
some of that charcoal oak kind of taste to it, of course. That's pretty classic Jack, but you definitely get some of those. I think this one's pretty muted, especially compared to the barrel strength one that we're gonna have here in a second.
Very sweet.
Very sweet, very Jack Daniels.
That's good.
And you catch that little bit of it on the nose more than on the palate, I think. A little bit of that almost banana, hazelnut, banana nut bread kind of.
You said banana in my brain, and so it was like, yeah, you smell banana. That's good.
And again, easy to go down. Hits the back of the palate. Again, not super complex by any means, but definitely a good one to pour out. Oh, hold on.
I could sip on that.
And then we're gonna hit back to back. I'm gonna wash this a little bit first. And jump right back into the rye. I don't have a lot of experience with ryes. I've got a couple in there and some stuff I've been wanting to get but haven't pulled the trigger on yet. And like I said, this just came with a 3-pack, all three of these 375 bottles together. But this is just your single barrel rye. Same thing again.
I just tried ryes for the first time, and so far I love it. I'm hoping this one works out for me.
So we got the same thing again on this guy too. We got the 47% ABV, and of course just your regular Jack Daniels. About the same color, about the same viscosity we got going. Definitely a little more on the nose. Catch a little more of that kind of peppery spice.
I'm still picking up the kind of banana, almost syrupy type smell.
A little bit. That one does have more of a syrupy, almost a medicinal kind of taste to it, I think. It's got something in there that I'm not sure I'm digging. Be honest, maybe it is that rye spice I just don't have a lot of real experience with. There's something on the back of that palate. This one was freshly opened too. It's the same deal. The barrel select one had this weird.
Yeah,
had this weird ashy taste almost to it when I first cracked it.
That was kind of a head scratcher. I don't know what to even think about that one.
From here forward, this is pretty much all stuff I've been a little bit more excited about. So our next up is going to be a local, not necessarily a local, but an Arkansas brand. We got this Fox Trail. This is Arkansas, Northwest Arkansas distillate, bottled, distilled, everything up there in Rogers. This guy is a little bit more on the proof as well. Sits a little bit more I'd like to see a sip in bourbon. This guy comes in like 104.
You've got a really cool looking distillery. One of these days I'm gonna have to pop over and tour it.
Yeah, 103 small batch made in the Ozarks, Fox Trail Distilling. I have no experience with any of their products. I know they also do the Wild Parallel stuff, but that is sourced and barreled elsewhere, just aged and blended by the same guys. Not bad.
I'm interested in looking at how they do their brewing process, so they get their water from local creeks, because there should be a lot of limestone creeks around, which adds to that flavor profile in bourbon. And Buffalo Trace, all their creek water is full of limestone. So I'm just kind of interested in like a little bit of the science behind it, but I mean, I'll have to take a tour for that.
So a little bit on the back. This one actually gives us some info here. Of course, hybrid pot still, aged open air rick house. Mash bill 70% corn, 15 rye, 15 malted barley, and of course distilled, aged, and bottled by Fox Trail and Rogers. And like I said, so the Wild Parallel stuff, just about everywhere I've gone, people always give it a lot of praise.
Toasted barrel's great.
But I believe somebody told me in one of the stores where it comes from, and I already forgot, but I was a little more excited to give real Arkansas distillate a try, especially when I needed to come back. My first experience with real Arkansas distillate from Rocktown wasn't a great experience, but that was also super early on in the world of whiskey stuff as well. This one, oh my God, this one's like sweet tea on the nose.
It really is. That's weird. Or like a tobacco leaf on it.
Maybe, yeah, like some kind of a sweet blended kind of a cigar type thing. But
that's weird.
This does not smell like a bourbon to me at all. I guess it's not. It's not a bourbon. Well, yeah, it is 70% corn. Obviously, it is. That's crazy.
103 proof. That smells really good.
I mean, just sugar, and yeah, like herbal, earthy tea. It's got a really good color too. Very amber, very dark. Not a lot of viscosity going on here. It isn't really streaking down the glass, but man.
Dude, that tea smell is really, I've never smelled a bourbon like this.
On the palate too, it is. This one's the first one that's actually had some burn across the tongue. Obviously, we're breaking into the more favorable proof point there. Nothing I don't like on that note. It is a little more complex. It's kind of turned into some caramel candy on the back.
Definitely, yeah. It's something sweet, brown sugary, vanilla.
A little bit of vanilla in the back there. But I mean, just that's crazy. It smells like a good.
I got a lot of
tea.
oak on that on the front of the palate as well, and definitely a little bit of that tea taste. But
A little dustiness in the beginning, but yeah, it comes through.
That's really good stuff.
Comes through. You can sit it on your tongue. It doesn't start to burn, especially being more than 100. That's really nice. I think it could do with a little more thickness, maybe.
A little more viscous, though.
But I like that. That's really good for 40s. I think somewhere in that range. 42, I believe, is what I paid on this one. Not a bad pickup at all.
That's good.
Kind of reignites my faith in the Arkansas distilling process. That's for sure.
I'm gonna have to go tour their facility and just kind of see.
And that's true.
What the
So,
process is like.
we didn't really say much about ourselves. My name's Quentin.
I'm Tanner.
So we're both Arkansas natives. I am here in central Arkansas, pretty much smack in the middle, just a little bit north of Little Rock.
I live right down the road from this distillery, about 40 minutes, all in that northwest Arkansas corridor area. So I don't know why I haven't gotten out here to try this place yet, but definitely need to now.
I wanted to go out there when we went up a couple weeks ago, but they were closed through the weekend.
Yeah. It's about the best time for me to go, and of course they're closed.
That's that's crazy. That is just sweet tea on the nose. I've never smelt one like that. Jumping into our next one here, my first venture into the Penelope anything. This is a barrel strength private batch, 119 proof. So we're jumping way up there on this guy. Penelope, correct me if I'm wrong, is I believe MGP
Yeah, I think they're
juice.
They're definitely sourced.
Yeah, distilled in Lawrenceburg, Indiana.
Probably MGP. They don't ever say MGP on the label anymore. But.
True, but bottled by Penelope Distilling, or bottled by Penelope Bourbon Bottling Company in St. Louis. On the back of this guy, 57% corn, 37 rye, 4 malted rye, 2 barley malt. So a little bit higher. We're getting to that 4 grain
Did you
here.
say St. Louis?
That's what this
That's
label
closer
says.
than I thought.
Bottled by Penelope Bottling in St. Louis, Missouri. Yeah.
5 years old.
Does this say it? I think it does on the front
It
side.
was on the back there.
Was it on the back?
A lot of people hate on MGP. I've had a lot of
Oh, yeah.
MGP sourced stuff, and it's usually always good.
Oh, no, there's absolutely nothing wrong with sourced whiskey or sourced anything. It's just a matter of how well you put it together. Now, my problem is a lot of the stuff is typically finished on the back, and that kind of stuff I've just hit or miss. Especially, of course, a lot of you guys know when you're dumping 50, 60 bucks into a bottle that is the same juice as 100 other different labels out there. It's got to be something pretty impressive to be worth dropping that kind of cash over and over and over again. That's kind of how I felt about the whole Penelope series. There's just so many different bottles.
Yeah.
And some of them are there, but they're all right there in that 40 to 60 on the regular shelf stuff.
Have you tried the Rio?
I haven't had, this is the only Penelope I've ever drank.
Yeah, this will be the first one for me. I've heard the Rio's great, but...
So this guy has a really good color in the bottle. This is our stiffest one yet. It's 119 proof.
Ooh, I better get prepared.
We're gonna be real gentle on this one too. But I am excited. I've never had any venture into the Penelope world.
Glencairn here. It almost has like a honey color to it.
It's very good color, but not as dark out of the bottle. I think that black label's kind of giving it a.
Yeah, it's a little lighter than that bottle.
But definitely a little lighter than the last one. Although a little bit more viscous. This guy's leaving a little bit more on the glass, I think, than the previous did.
Yeah.
On the nose, I'm getting just a lot of ethanol off of this one. And I have heard that some of these private barrels can be a little iffy. I got this one at Costco.
I'll be honest, I can't really smell anything off this one. I'm a little stuffed up, but usually I can still smell some of these. This one,
I'm just getting really just ethanol. I'm not smelling a lot.
trying to taste with my mouth.
Get real in
while
there.
breathing in as well, and I'm still not.
Maybe it's going to give us a little more. I've heard that some of the private selects can be iffy. This was a Costco one, so I can't be mad about the price. I think it came in about $15 less than what I think the average market price I've seen on them is. I think I paid something like 64, 65, and I think it was saying 75 is a pretty common price on these guys. Whether that's true or not, I have no idea. It's just going to the internet when I'm in the store looking at stuff. But it came from Costco, so I felt pretty confident that at least the price was worth it. Getting a little dustiness, some of that grain smell. And I mean, there's a 4 grain. It's going to be pretty high in that kind of that's scene, I think.
And I'll be real honest with you. I'm not picking up any specific notes. I'm not even getting an oak taste. I'm just getting straight ethanol off of this.
No, so on the palate, this is actually doing a lot more for me. It's a little hotter. You can't sit there and let it sit, but I got a little honey right up front, a little bit of vanilla through the middle, almost some like caramel cotton or some caramel like popcorn on the back kind of thing. Still getting that grainy come through in a lot.
Dang, I wish I was getting what you're getting. This
Right off the
medium
bat
sick is
though,
screwing me.
right off the bat, let it hit the middle of the tongue, and I just got a big wave of honey almost. I don't hate it. I don't know if I would have paid 60 or 70 plus for it like the internet said it should be. Not bad at all though. This one's probably gonna be on the shelf for a while, but I can't be mad at it.
Either me being stuffed up is really messing with my taste, or my tongue is just fried from all the other bourbons, which really sucks.
Yeah, no,
I want to like it.
I'm getting some sweetness, a little bit of the honey, a little bit of the, less of the caramel brown sugar off like a turkey. I don't really taste any of the rye spice in there necessarily. I'm not getting much rye out of it, which is kind of crazy because it is a third. More than a third if you go with the malted and the regular. We're talking about 41% entirely. So almost half rye in some measure. And I'm not getting a lot of that spiciness. A little bit of that burn though from it, I guess.
I'm gonna have to come back to this one someday when I'm not stuffed up, because I'm really wanting to taste what he's tasting, but I'm fried over here.
I'm with it. I like that. It is. It's good. It's just really honey punch, like really punchy kind of a honey syrupy front end. Doesn't really turn into much else though. I'm not getting a lot of complexity coming through on it.
I'll try this again. Hope maybe in the morning I'll try it.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel a little bit of it now though. This is only 2 shots, but there's just so much going through all these guys. I said we want to go in order of excitement, and I want to save my 2 favorites for last, but I also don't know if I want them to follow up that Jack either. It's gonna be a lot. Yeah, we're gonna go with it.
Oh, let's do the Jack.
We're gonna go with it. All right, so this is a store pick. This one was recommended to me by one of the Facebook groups we're in. So this is why we're not doing the little bottle. This is a full bottle store pick of single barrel proof. This is not only far and away the highest thing we have to try now, it is also the highest thing I have on the bar. This guy is a whopping 134.4 proof.
Whew.
I did get to sample this one in the store, so this isn't my initial reaction to it. I will say, typically my preferred proof point is more in that 110% kind of range, 120 something at the most. I definitely came pretty close to crying in the store when the worker let me sample it. She, I don't know if she thought less of me, was worried about me or what. She definitely gave me a face.
Most of the stuff in my bar is 110 and up.
No kind of cork pop off of that guy. That's a little disappointing. Let's see what we got on this. This is why we are leaving the little 375 single barrel out, because it is also like about 10 proof points less out of that 3-pack. That single barrel proof little guy is only about 125. This one, like I said, 135. But, and I'll see if I can get them today. I got them the other day. Great flavored and great tasting notes off of it. Just very punchy of every Jack Daniel flavor you'd expect to get.
We got some short legs, but
See, this guy definitely.
I mean, they're falling slow. That's good.
Yeah, this is out of everything we've had so far, probably the most
This looks
high
sticky.
end, I guess, of what we've tried so far. Definitely more of the more expectation out of this guy. On the nose, weirdly enough, coming out of this guy now, I'm not getting nothing but ethanol like I did in the store. Everything that single barrel select a minute ago had to offer, the really heavy, those floral, fruity kind of notes, a little banana, like I said before, some of that charcoal smell still, of course, a little bit of that, almost that nutty kind of smell. I said that banana nut bread, banana. Some people say banana Foster, but I don't necessarily get those sweet frosting kind of flavors out of it, personally.
Ooh.
Yeah. But man, on the mouth is it good. Okay, so going through, very much like a dessert on the front there. Getting that banana, getting that kind of not grainy, but like doughy banana nut bread taste almost. It does kind of turn more into that caramel oakiness in the back as you let it sit, if you let it sit.
I hate to say this, but my palate's fried. I can't taste anything. I'm a little sad.
Oh, that one's brutal. That one's a lot though. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do that one in the middle, but I was a lot more excited to find these next two this past month for sure.
One of these days I'll be able to have a poker face when I drink something this high proof, but I'm sure you guys saw me cringing a little bit.
I think we've done pretty good on everything else until that one.
Whew, that was rough.
I can't lie though, I'm starting to feel a little bit of it too. We haven't been that heavy on the pours, but these last three have all been well over 100 proof. So, what order should we go in? I think, so I'm a little skewed on which one. So the next two have been ones I've been really excited to find. So of course the 13th Colony, I don't have any 13th except for this guy. This is the maple finish, which is one that I was very excited to find. Just sitting on the shelf, I think I got a pretty decent price. I think it was like 62 or 63. Compared to what the internet said, that's a great price. I am a big fan of finished stuff. I think, at least in this capacity, not necessarily in some of the, but like the sweet flavor stuff, like the blackberry stuff. I've got a couple in there too, the same thing. I was really excited to find this one though. I have really high hopes for this. I've heard it's really good through the internet and through some of the groups. I think I was at the beginning more excited to finally get my hands on some Weller. I actually was really fortunate enough to find a few different this month. I came across more than three, but I was able to pick up three through the month.
He picked one up for me. Appreciate it.
Because I found the third one. We've already had this. I brought it as a gift. We cracked it on my birthday when I went to visit up there in Northwest Arkansas.
Great
so
stuff.
I know what it tastes like. It was very good, especially for $30, which is about what I found all three of the ones I found last month for. Yeah, oops. That being said, now that I know, I think this would have been my highest expectation coming in because of all the hype around the Weller brand. But knowing where it stands, I do think I'm more excited for the 13th. So we'll start with the Weller again, which know exactly what we're getting into on this one.
Yeah, it's very similar to Buffalo Trace's main product, but it's, in my opinion, it drinks a lot better.
So I think this is still wheated, and it's the
Give me
only.
a little bit. I'm feeling it, man.
This is wheated, I think still, and this is the only wheated option we've had so far. If I'm not totally wrong here.
Dude, I'm so mad. I can't smell or taste anything. That's so upsetting.
So of course, anybody that knows is we're 90 proof. Of course, Weller comes straight out of Kentucky. We're sitting here. Everybody knows Weller's a Buffalo Trace product. One of my
Trace or Sazerac.
Well, whose name's on the wall? Whose name's on the legal ledgers, I guess. But man, so I was really excited to finally get my hands on a couple of these. The 107's been a big chase of mine for a while. If I come across one at any point, well, that's I come across one and they told me it was $250, and I walked out of the store. But that place was a museum, not trying to sell liquor to anybody, and I'm not gonna, of course,
See, now this
name
I can taste.
names. This is good stuff for $30. I think it's way better than Buffalo Trace. I think Buffalo Trace is pretty mid as far as a bourbon. That might be a hot take. I've got two of them in there right now. I'll pick them up if I can find them for less than $30 pretty much every time, but
They're good sippers.
they're fine. But they are not worth the hype to be such an allocated product. They are, let's be real, they are the regular release of the distillery. They're pretty much the most basic of the lineup. Because isn't somebody somewhere, I thought I've read that Weller's, Buffalo Trace, even like some of the Pappy stuff is the same mash bill. It's just as it ages, they taste it, they let it go longer, kind of select out the barrels. So the regular, iffy stuff goes into Green Label Weller bottles, Buffalo Trace bottles, Benchmark bottles, I guess. And then they keep those better ones for full proofs and 107s and 12s and Pappies and some of those higher end bottles and things like that. Now, the other day when we had this,
see, on the nose, I'm getting a lot of sweetness, caramels, vanilla.
and it's all still there on the palate too, man. This stuff's starting to bleed together. I don't know if it's coming across on the camera because we were kind of far away, but I'm struggling to get some of these swallowed now at this point.
I'll also be honest, I don't know if maybe it's the high proof I can't taste right now, but I can smell and taste this one just fine.
Well, we also took a big step back. That's, again, like I said, we went from 103, 119, 135 back down to 90. So we did take a pretty hefty step backwards. Honey, almost, I think, I've heard cherry and cola from some folks. I think it's kind of that same berry almost taste.
I'm gonna add a little water and see what it tastes like. I haven't tried that.
I'm 100% think this is a must pick up for $30. I've got 2 of them still sealed.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, 1 sealed and now this one that we just busted, but 100% I think it's a pickup for what I've been able to find them for, you know.
Let's see if that little drop of water might have opened it up a little. Oh yeah, there's a lot more sugar in that. A lot more of those deep, rich, sweet flavors.
Yeah, honey. A lot of honey, caramel kind of taste. Not as, definitely not on the nose as sweet. God, it's crazy to me how much that smelled like a sweet tea.
I'm gonna have to come back to that. I'm gonna have to go buy a bottle of that. Just because of that, the sweet tea scent.
I'm baffled. That was wild. I've not, you know, no burn, no nothing. You could dump that into a gallon of tea, make yourself a whole freezer handle of that Kentucky sweet tea stuff, and you know that's what the.
The only thing I've ever had that had a nose that strong that was that sweet was Old Forester. I can't remember which one it was, but it kind of had a really strong smell of bananas the first time I cracked it. After that, it was gone. That's great.
You guys said that about that. I have the bottle and bond Forester. You told me about that too. You thought it had a real bananas note on it. Which now that it's set and opened up more, I agree. I didn't know if I caught that in the beginning.
It's crazy to me how after you open the bottle, how much it changes after just a month or two sitting there, and then again once you get past that halfway mark, you're supposed to kill a bottle. But I kind of like to let them ride, just see what new flavors they get.
And I question how legitimate that is, because I've got a bottle of Four Roses that is one of the original bottles I ever bought getting into whiskey. So it's sitting at easily 4 or 5 years old at this point. And it's changed. It has. But is it like different, completely undrinkable? Absolutely not. Like it's still a good bottle of whiskey. But I think, truthfully, you know, something weird I wanted to mention too is that I think both of us mentioned we caught almost like a spearmint minty note off of that Weller the first time we tried it. I'm not getting that today.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And I wonder, we were in a hotel room with
That was a good cork pop right there.
We're in a hotel room drinking out of coffee mugs because I didn't have the capacity to bring Glenn's with me.
I forgot mine. I
forgot his at the house, so we didn't have anything to properly drink it out of besides the coffee mugs in the hotel suite. So that might have been it too. Maybe we're getting some leftover.
I mean, I'd like to have that taste again. I thought it was really interesting, but it might just be all the bourbon we've drank. I'll have to come back to it.
That's also true. We're at the end of a pretty heavy.
It was on the back end.
Pretty proof-heavy gauntlet here. So, of course, 13th Colony, maple finish. This guy is, I believe, also pretty stout. 56.5, which brings us out to be 113 even. This is the 25 release, if anybody's worried about that. So these guys, again, at least this one is sourced. This is distilled in Indiana and then aged and bottled by 13th Colony, which is Georgia, of course, for anybody that may or may not already know. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very excited for this one.
I bet the heat and humidity has some definite influence on this.
I'm definitely concerned this isn't gonna be what I want it to be. Coming out of the bottle, I don't smell a whole lot, so let's just pour it up and see what we get. This is a ridiculous. This is a ridiculous bottle to pour while we're on the subject of getting it out of here. So let's see.
Ooh, that is much lighter than the bottle would suggest.
Again, yeah, you got the short fat bottle, so you're looking really deep. It looks really dark in there. It has good color, but it definitely looks a lot darker in the bottle, as opposed to like this Jack Daniels that is dark in the bottle and was pretty dark in the glass.
This is easily probably 4 or 5 year.
Does it have an age statement? I didn't even read the whole label. I picked it up the day I found it because I've been looking for it for a long time.
My guess is max 5 years.
13th, taste of corn. I'm not going to read that so we don't skew our tasting notes. We can come back to it though. I don't see an age statement on here. This is finished with maple spirals, so it is not at ever any point necessarily in maple barrels. But I'm really banking on getting some like maple donut type taste off of this. That's really what I hope it is, and I don't know what to expect. I don't smell it. I can't lie. I don't smell it.
I'm getting a little maple syrup, but not much.
Maybe a little I'm getting. But again, hopefully maybe it's more like the...
A lot of ethanol though.
Again, he said we're jumping way back up again from 90 to 113, so... And finishing it out with another weird divot in the proof there. That being said though, on the palate...
It's got a good burn.
It does burn a little bit, but I definitely get that sweetness up front. I think more the lingering back half of that swallow is giving me more the maple taste than the initial sip did. It's not the like pancake breakfast donut that I wanted it to be.
No.
And that was just me being hopeful because no one ever has given me that impression from what I've seen of the videos on these guys.
The oak tannins at the front? Just a little bit?
And I'm definitely getting that finished with, that spiral or stave finished oakiness.
Ooh. That second nose is strong.
It is just it almost smells doughy on the nose. It doesn't come through in the taste. I don't really get any kind of grain or doughiness on the palate. It's I can't lie, maybe on the let down it's not quite what I was hoping it was gonna be, but it isn't bad. I do enjoy it, and again, I think I got a decent price on this one. I think I picked it up for about $62, maybe $65 before tax. And then the internet consensus seemed to be that 70 to 75 was the right place to be on it. So I can't be too upset.
I'm definitely interested in trying this one again after not, just by itself.
I think alone after not being assaulted by 300 proof points, 3 bottles back to back, could definitely do a lot for us there. That being said,
cool bottle.
It is a cool bottle. I'm not upset about finding it. This is good. I do think we're sitting pretty solidly in the right order. I would think if we were gonna really rate these guys, I might put the 13th below the Foxtrail, but I think everything else is pretty much right where it needs to be, in my mind anyway. These guys were fine, nothing spectacular. I kind of question if being the single barrel, but
I really liked that first one of the Jacks we tried. Was that the single barrel?
That was the barrel select, yeah, the single barrel.
I actually really liked that. And I've never been a Jack guy, but that was good.
I do think, obviously it'd be false advertising, but I question if that's real, what it says it is juice, being in the little 3-pack thing. Kind of the same thing, because I mean like, the single barrel is the same color as these guys, the single barrel proof. Nowhere near, obviously half the amount of volume, but nowhere near as dark as the big one is. But I think the way we've got it set up here, I think these two are pretty interchangeable. Yeah. But for 45 between the both of them, I'm not upset.
Throw them in with a whiskey sour.
They'll be cocktail fodder for sure. Yeah. Everything else though, I think stands alone very well. I'm a little disappointed. I wanted that maple to be better than it is. Again, it could be because we saved it at the end of a pretty significantly high proof point gauntlet there at the end. Yeah. The Weller's every bit I wanted it to be. I would love to find the other releases, but for $30-ish, that's a fantastic bottle.
107 would be great, but
Arkansas,
can't find it.
The distribution in Arkansas is terrible. The one place I've seen it, they were 400% marked up on it. I've never seen one anywhere else. I've run into some full proofs and 12s before that the same deal, but
let's get that Weller Millennium.
The typical, real bottles that I would be willing to pay for at this stage in the progression of things. I think this is a good haul for the month. I'm satisfied with everything I got. I said, especially those back 3 over there. That Foxtrail I think was the most underrated pick for me in this trip, though.
Yeah,
That was. You'd have to find you some, because on the nose, yeah, sweet tea. It was ridiculous to
good.
me how not alcoholic it smelled. No ethanol, none of that gasoline, fumes, nothing. Just sweet.
I mean, it's as if you just opened up a tea bag.
It really did. It smelled like you cracked
So
open
weird.
a honey pot and a tea bag right next to each other. Just that sugary sweet with that little bit of earthy herbalness behind it.
Yeah.
I'm shocked, especially for such a cheap bottle. That was a
How much
very.
was this?
I've seen them through the 40s. If you pay 50, you're probably, I think, maybe paying a little too much. But
That's not
through the
bad.
40s, everywhere else I've seen them, especially through the Little Rock Metro and everything, very, very affordable.
I have to go check these guys out. I'm really interested. We're Arkansas natives, a little bit of state pride, and having some good juice from our state's really awesome to me. We have to go check these guys out.
But yeah, we appreciate you guys watching with us. We're going to try and make this into a series, especially if we can keep up. It'll probably be me more than both of us, but we just happen to be able to do this together this time, which, in my opinion, is kind of the point of buying all these bottles, because if you just have sitting on 50, 60, 100 plus, whatever, for your own enjoyment, that might raise some red flags. But we appreciate you guys watching. Like, comment, subscribe. If you have any suggestions for us, absolutely hit us. Let us know what you think about these bottles specifically, if you ever tried any of them. And we'll catch you in the next one.
Heck yeah.